Good evening and welcome to 59 Minutes. As always, I'm your host, Kharl Kharlson. On tonight's episode, our special guest is an eclectic and unique photographer whose style is sweeping the nation. We're pleased to announce Isaiah Smith Oliver on set with us. Isaiah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Kharl.
And before we begin, I want to ask you, what have you been up to lately?
I just got back in from Philadelphia. I got an art gallery over there, and so that's going pretty well. Also, do you have goat's milk? I was promised that there would be goat's milk on this here set.
I'm sorry to inform you, we do not have any goat's milk. I hope the water is fine with you.
It's not as good for my skin.
First off, Isaiah, I'd want to ask you, where do you draw your inspiration from?
That's a great question, Kyle. So I was raised on a farm in Florida, right? And we had a bunch of cats that were there to catch, like, the local mice and rats and rodents and all kinds of stuff. But they were a little weird and eccentric, just like myself. And they would go out into the swamp and try to catch the gators. And I was just really inspired by their bravery. And now that's why I take photos.
So, your style, can you tell us more about that?
Mervyn's.
Isaiah, Mervyn's closed in 2008?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm talking about my neighbor, Mervyn. That's where I get my style from.
And he's another photographer?
No. He's just a guy.
Okay. Actually, Isaiah, I was more interested in terms of your photography style. Care to elaborate on that a bit more?
Ow!
Alright, Isaiah, part of the reason that you've been gaining traction lately in the community is your unique composition. Why don't we talk about that for a little bit?
Okay, yeah. So unlike the photographers before me, I am veering off into a totally new direction, capturing light in ways that's never been done before. I'm just taking art into a totally new level, into the void.
Now, your shooting methods have been described as unorthodox. Why don't you walk us through that?
I just, I throw myself into the wind. Nature's the highest calling. Wherever the breeze takes me, that's where the camera goes. I don't really do the same thing every time, you know, mix it up. If the grass is blowing one way, I blow one way. If the trees are floating, I'm floating. Everything's up here, everything's everywhere else. It's meta. It's art. You gotta live it. Kharl.
Now, I've got to say, Isaiah, that was quite enlightening talking about your shooting techniques. Now, what I want to ask is, what's
Actually, before you ask that question, do we got any more water?
I'm sorry, Isaiah, we're all out of water. You've drank both yours and mine.
We're out of water? You guys didn't have goat's milk? That was specifically my one request for to be on the show, and now you're out of water. I'm sorry, I'm done with this set.
Isaiah, no, Isaiah.
Wait up.